Hey guys, how you doing? I'm just here to give you a little bit more insight as far as the spark plug change on the S197 Mustang. For me, I have a 2005 that I just did the plugs on yesterday. So hopefully this will be an encouragement to some people. I opted for the Champion one piece. I've already put them in and they are fantastic. The part number is 7989. I got mine from rockauto.com. Just a little info, my Mustang has just shy of 90,000 miles on it. I bought it with around 82 and I had no idea about the spark plug issue on it when I did buy this car. So when I did read about it, first thing I thought was, yeah, the idiot before me probably never touched the spark plugs, and sure enough, that was the case. But no complaints, it's still a sexy 2005 in mint condition. So I ordered mine from Rock Auto. They came in, and yesterday I spent the time. I've done so much research on there. Everybody has read probably a million different things. Do this, do this, do this. Well, I'm somebody here to tell you, with a 90,000 mile car with the original plugs, the best way to do it, because everyone said, yeah, you're going to break a plug, you're going to break a plug, you've had way too many miles on that thing without changing them to not. Well, that was not the case for me. Seafoam Deep Creep, absolute awesome stuff. It's what I use to break mine free, and it's hard to see it since I did it yesterday. These are the original plugs, but the carbon buildup was pretty substantial on these. But I noticed on the Seafoam that some people say on the videos the PB Blaster is the best stuff to do, and they fill it with that. But they pull them out, and I noticed that they're still pretty dry. The Seafoam Deep Creep penetrated really, really well, and I pulled everyone out, and all the carbon was just literally straight mush just falling off the spark plug. So I highly recommend to go ahead, get your Seafoam Deep Creep. I got mine from AutoZone. It's like $11. You only need one can. I probably used half of it, if that. And another important thing, had to go out and buy, get you a nice torque wrench. I got mine for Harbor Freight. They got it on sale right now for $9.99. You can't beat a half-inch torque wrench that goes from 20 foot-pounds up to let's see, what was it? 150 foot-pounds. So just pick you up all that, and you are set to go. After taking my coil packs off, which is these guys, you just have the one screw. I don't know if you can see it. The one screw right down there on the coil pack, and then you just kind of wiggle it out and pull it out. I noticed that mine right off were very stuck in there, and with my torque wrench, most people say 33 foot-pounds. I went ahead and put it up to 40 foot-pounds because I knew it'd take a little bit more to break it, but that still wasn't enough. So I went ahead and I went ahead and sprayed some of the Deep Creep into the spark plug hole right there into the head. I used I didn't use that much. I just sprayed enough to maybe get to the top of the you see the spark plug hanging out to, this is where it's sticking up out of there. I filled it up probably as deep as that actual the nut right there, and that was plenty. I probably waited 2 hours after I did that, and after doing that, I came out, and that's when I did the initial cracking of the spark plug, and that was achieved with probably, I went up to, I think, 45 foot-pounds to do that. I mean, if it takes a little bit more, you know, the initial crack shouldn't give you too much of a hassle. So I cracked that, and that's when I did the crack. I probably did. Some people do an eighth turn, quarter turn. I did a quarter turn, and the deep creep. I came back out to verify the deep creep was actually going down in its fluid level, so I know that it's soaking in. Sure enough, it was. At that point, I just waited an hour, went to each one, did another quarter turn, and just loosened up a little bit more. Some more than others because they were already really loose. But you don't have to keep spraying tons and tons of this stuff down in there. There's really no point. It does such a great job penetrating through. So I would say you can go ahead and do a second round, fill it up to the top of that nut. But for me, that was the last time. I did 2 rounds of spraying, and that's it. And it seemed to work well. And after probably another 2 to 3 hours, I came out and I just reworked them all again. And the 4th time I'm doing this was, obviously, it's an all-day process. But I came out later that night and I just said, screw it, I'm going to go for it. It makes a terrible, terrible creaking sound, like you're just twisting the plugs in half, but you're actually doing fine. I measured it, and it was starting to come loose with, you know, the 30 foot-pounds easily. So I knew there wasn't too much stress on them. After working them all out, best thing to do, you can stick some pliers down in there. If you have a magnet, just touch the tip of the magnet and pull the spark plugs out. It's real easy. You'll be holding your breath as you pull each one out, praying that the that the shell is still on there. And luckily for me, they all were. And like I said, 90,000 miles on the plug, so there is definitely hope. You don't have to worry about, oh, I'm screwed, I've got this many miles. Yeah, you'll be alright as long as you use the deep creep. It is fantastic stuff. Like I said, it did its job well. I bought the wife a brand new Ford Focus the other day when I was at the dealership. It was handy because I was there to pick up some of this. So if you want to get some of that, it's fantastic, I guess. I mean, I haven't obviously never used it before and haven't had to pull my plugs back out. But yeah, it was 24 bucks, I think. I coated, initially I coated, obviously, just this, it's hard, sorry, let me switch this up. This portion right here, taking care. My plugs that I did get from Champion, they were the original J style, so they don't have this all the way across the top. They just have the J hook right there. But it's important to keep it only on this part and not up there. And even though I'm sure it'll burn off anything that may be in the way, but, you know, just to be safe. I originally put some on the threads as well, and then I did some more research, and people were saying that can mess up with the torque value when you're torquing them down, and you could warp your head, and that's the last thing I wanted to do. So I hadn't tightened any of them down, so I pulled them all back out, took a rag, wiped all the anti-seize off of the threads. I'm sure there's a small amount of residue of the nickel on there, but that's fine. Torqued them all down to 25 foot-pounds, and I think it's, I don't know what the inch-pounds is for the coil packs nut, or screw on there, but you know, I just hand tightened that stuff down. I wasn't too worried about it. So don't flood it too much. I watched a few videos of people flooding the chamber. There's really no need for that. If you use good penetrating oil like the deep creep from Seafoam, it'll do what it's meant to do. and it'll work its way down. And just, I mean, they're just spark plugs, they're not that big. Just filling it up is going to do you nothing but cause you more headache later if possible too much gets in there. I did them all at once, and I turned it over with no plugs or coils on there to just kind of blow a couple things, or blow whatever could be left in there, residue from the deep creep. I just did it for, you know, 1.5 to 2 seconds. Should be enough. And then when I put the new plugs in, they I started her up, and of course, right as soon as you start it, it was shaky as crap. It sounded like, you know, is misfiring and doing all this, but scared the crap out of me. But don't worry, it'll settle back down once it gets used to the new plugs and any residue stuff gets burned off. It was a little bit smoky at first because you can't get all of it out. So just give it a second to get back down to idle, and mine idles perfectly at around 850, 900, maybe a little bit less with the new plugs. I did gap them. I would encourage you to just get your little gap reader. It's only like a $1.50, and mine were all around anywhere from 38 to 48. So I put them all at around 43 to 45. Obviously, I'm naturally aspirated. I don't even have a real cold air intake on there right now. So I didn't have a real need to go extreme on my gapping. So yeah, definitely get a hold of some deep creep. The nickel anti-seize from Motocraft. It's high temp. Don't put any on the threads because it can mess your torque value up. Some people obviously are going to differ in that opinion. You do what you want to do, but I had a good experience with doing it this way. High mileage vehicle came out. All of them came out no issue, no breakage. So I didn't even want to buy the tool because that's a waste of money if you don't need it. Yeah, they were good to go. So get the Champions, run fantastic. It really it is a smoother ride now. I was having some issues when it was starting cold. It was just kind of crappy. Now it does its job perfectly. So get the 7989 Champions. Like I said, I got mine from Rock Auto. Wasn't a bad price. Yeah, so deep creep, Motocraft nickel anti-seize, and Champion 7989 spark plugs, and just creep that stuff out. Don't go over, after the initial break, don't go over around 30-35 foot-pounds, which you shouldn't have to do once they're broken and soaked. But if you do, obviously you just make sure there's still some deep creep in there, and just let it do its job for a little bit longer. So thanks for watching. Hope it helps you guys and gives you a little encouragement to what needs to be done, and that it's not too late. You're not gonna break them. If you break them, it's more than likely because you're impatient and you didn't use some good stuff. So yeah, sorry this kind of drug on. It's mostly talking, a lot less showing. It's a very simple process. You really don't need me to sit here and show you how to turn a wrench, because if you're doing this by yourself, you probably already smart enough to know how to do it without me showing you that. I think I've covered everything. If you have any questions, just post it in there. But like I said, after the initial spray, I did probably an hour and a half, 2 hours. I went around, did a tweak of the quarter turn, put a little bit more deep creep in there since some of it had drained through. And then it was a couple hours later, worked them a little bit more, a couple hours later, worked them a little bit more. And some of them, at that point, they may already be really loose, and you can just go ahead and take them out. It doesn't really matter, but if you use a lot of stuff, remember to just turn over the engine with nothing in there so you don't get hydro lock. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it explained some things. So get out there and do it. It's it's not as bad as some people think, but thanks for watching.